Um, as we enter the 6th month after the spread of the COVID virus in India, there are indicators in the economy which give us hope for a revival of growth, especially in the rural areas, and also portends well for the economic outlook in the months to come. It is a fact that we had a GDP contraction by about 24 or 25% in the first quarter, but the latest economic indicators point to a kind of revival, especially in the rural areas, demand increasing on the rural side. Agriculture as a sector, even during the first quarter, recording a growth of 4%. Area under cultivation during the Kharif season going up compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. And indicators like sales of fertilizers, sales of passenger cars in September, for instance, sales of tractors, etc., which are higher than the corresponding period of the previous year. I am not even drawing a comparison to the months of April and May, when practically nothing happened in India because of the lockdown. But even compared to the previous year, there is an increase in the sales of the 2 or 3 major areas which I mentioned just now. More importantly, in September, the GST collections at around 96,000 crore. It has been hovering around that level, touching 1 lakh crore or a little below that. But the collections in September are higher by 4% compared to September of 2019. Similarly, passenger car sales during September, it is said, has been the highest in the last 26 months, about 23 or 24% higher. These are positive indicators. We are not saying that everything is all right with the Indian economy, that we are out of the woods, but we have to see these positive indicators and draw comfort from the fact that the government's overall approach is yielding dividends. It's pumping in of money, especially into rural India, through direct benefit transfer scheme, the PM Kisan transfer, the transfer to the accounts of the Jan Dhan Yojana women beneficiaries, the increased outlay for Manrega, out of which the offtake under Manrega has already crossed the level of the entire previous year. Number of beneficiaries in September end is about 7 crore, 7.5 crore, whereas the total number of beneficiaries in 2018-19 was only 6.5 crore. So I just want to highlight these aspects, even as international investors are also sounding a note of hope and optimism, placing their faith in the Indian economy. Private equity investment during the whole of this year, that is up to now, has aggregated $28 billion, whereas in 2018-19 the amount was, whole of that year, the amount was $17 billion, and the previous year, 17-18, it was only $10 billion, and resultantly, our foreign exchange reserves, which is an indication, a macro indicator of a country's strength, our foreign exchange reserves are at about $550 billion, highest ever in the country's history. So what I see are positive portents, positive macroeconomic indicators, a mood of optimism, especially in rural India. And I just hope that the government will carry forward its policies which it has pursued, so that the common man's plight is addressed further, and the economic woes of the ordinary people are mitigated by continued efforts of the governments, both at the center and the states, towards mitigating the negative effects of COVID-19. In order to get a fair picture of what is happening, I just want to say that we should balance the negative growth which has occurred in the first quarter with the positive indicators which I just now mentioned, and let us hope that the governments both at the center and the states continue with the mitigating measures to counter the ill effects of COVID-19.